Trader Tina here, ShortMeTina.com with the recap. I know I haven't, I think the last recap I did that I uploaded on YouTube was sometime back in September. It seemed like yesterday, or it seems like yesterday to me, but I'm realizing it's been like north of half a year, about 6 months. So I've gotten a couple of emails, most recently yesterday, just kind of asking, what's been going on or if I stopped doing this, and the answer to that is no. So obviously, if you want to hear from me regularly, definitely ensure to sign up for a premium membership. It does cost, but then again, my time is really spent, whereas before, when I first started ShortMeTina in 2016, I was doing this full time. I'm now back to doing this part time, and so I'm essentially just charging for my time. If you don't want to pay, definitely sign up for our newsletter at ShortMeTina.com. I still communicate with subscribers to the newsletter, I want to say weekly. Every Sunday, I'm still sort of like emailing or documenting my thoughts on the market, sometimes how I'm positioned, or trades that I'm looking at. In terms of regular videos, again, every so often I'm doing them for my premium members, and I'll try my best to kind of get to a rhythm where I'm uploading them regularly on YouTube, but I don't want to promise anything that I cannot commit to. I think at one point I was trying to do them at least 2 to 3 times a month. And then I realized, oh crap, the last video I did was back in September. So maybe as the months gets a bit warmer and we approach, spring and summer, maybe I'll be incentivized to do them a lot more regularly. But for now, I'm doing one today, and I'll just kind of like try to keep it as short as possible and not ramble like I generally or normally do. So we're going to kick it off with silver, ticker SLV. Silver for a couple of reasons. One, it's been in the news a lot. Two, it's supposed to be, or it was, I think, on the agenda of quote-unquote Wall Street bets. I think they were supposed to kind of like short squeeze anyone that was actually short silver. But irrespective of that, right? I mean, obviously, anyone who's followed me for any time know that I've been trading for north of about 20 years, and so I really kind of beat to my own drum. And while I collect ideas from many folks, like if I buy, I have to see the pattern emerging. I say all that to say, although this might be, and I don't know, because there's like about a 7% sell-off today, while silver, this ETF, was on Wall Street Bet's radar. I think I was actually paying attention to silver. I'm not in this trade, but I've been paying attention to silver, I want to say, probably from the beginning of 2020. So for me, there's actually a very bullish pattern emerging. Again, I'm not in the trade, but I think there's a lot to be said about silver. So if we look here, right, this actually dates back to 2006, but I want to kind of like draw your attention from 2013 right here and beyond. I like range bounds. I like consolidation. I think once an ETF or a stock or a crypto, once it emerges outside of a consolidation or a base, for me, that's a very bullish pattern. So again, dating back to 2013 to most recently mid-2020, that's about 7 years or so. Silver has been in a consolidation. This line here, let's call that the support at the bottom end of the base. That clocks in at around roughly, let's say around $13. Top of the range, we can say it comes in at around 20. We broke out here in July of 20, and we've kind of been, I don't want to say consolidating, but we've been trading above that once resistance, now support area of 20, and we've tested it a few times, right? We tested it in September, we tested it most recently in November, December, and that $20 line has held. So for me, that's bullish. If silver, it's sitting here at 24.78, if it can pull back to 20 or that 2021, let's give it a range. Anywhere from 19 to 21, I think those are like sweet buy spots, with the intention of if it can remain above 20, I can see this obviously getting to, in my opinion, around here about 30 to 35. So that's looking at about looking at a, what is that, a 10-point move, 10 to 15-point move. So again, if it can touch base here, right? If it can pull back once more, it doesn't necessarily need to happen though, but for me that would be like the ideal entry. If it can pull back to that $19-20 mark, right? I can see it getting to around here, 30 to potentially 35. All right, so I like silver here. What else? All right, GameStop, pretty down badly today, down around 55%. I think it was also down something like 20 to 30% yesterday. I mean, it has pulled back a lot since peaking at around, what was the top? 482.55. So definitely, and I'm not going to go through what happened. I think everyone that's somewhat invested in the market or pays attention to the market knows exactly what happened with GameStop and why it's been in the news so much or so frequently. But we had a nice run up again. It peaked north of 500, and it's since been pulled back. I don't have a position long or short. Right now we're trading at $99. Is it a good buy? In my opinion, you potentially can get a bounce. I mean, if you do play the bounce, I would advise everyone to obviously ensure that you're managing risk and you're not putting everything on the line. But if there is to be a bounce, I would think that you could potentially get a bounce off of that 75 area. I think that happened, it happened earlier today, February 2nd, right? One as low as around 74, 76, and then we popped. The bounce was short-lived. I think there's a potential for another bounce, but it has to be a strong one. If not, look out. I can see this falling below. What else? Take note that the chart that I was just looking at with GameStop was an hourly chart. Now let's take a look at the SPY. Weekly, in terms of positioning, again, if you're signed up at ShortMeTina.com, which is completely free, and you're part of our free newsletter, you'll know that I am, I want to say heavy cash. Yes, I'm invested in the market through like ETFs. I'll talk about one of the positions that I've been holding on to for quite some time, Snapchat. And I'm also invested in cryptocurrency, but I do have a lot of cash on the side because for me right now, I just don't feel comfortable being full on in the market. I can be wrong, but I'm just paying attention to what I'm seeing in the charts, and I'll go through that again. So this is a weekly chart. It's dating back to 2009 when we sort of, after that crash, we had that multi-year bull run, right? 2009 to 2021. Do the math, is that like, what, 12 years, about a 12-year bull market, right? So that's this ascending trend line here. So for me, if the market falls, right, the most extreme level to keep that 2009 trend line intact would be around that 270 mark. I don't think it'll get there, but you know what? Anything is possible. I want to zoom in a little bit more to sort of that short bounce we got after this whole pandemic. Everything is locked down. COVID-19, we don't know what's going on. The market crashed. From February to March, it was a very fast, swift, like 40 to 50% decline. Maybe not 50%, but it was like a 30 to 40% decline. Then we bounced in March, right? We bounced in March of 2020 with a low of 218.26. So this is the trend line here that I want you to pay attention to. So for me, the pattern that's emerging is an inverted cup and handle, right? I can be completely wrong. I always say I can be completely wrong. This is just sort of my eyes, what I'm seeing based on my north of 20 years trading the stock market. And I can say all those 20 years have not been successful. I'll say that. So for me, an inverted cup and handle. So what I'm paying attention to before I decide to go long or if I'm going to play the bounce, I'm paying attention here, right, to this trend line here. We can say that's around... let's give it a range. Let's say 350 to 360, right? So it's a ways from where we're sitting at right now with 382.69. So for me, if we can pull back here and we bounce, chances are I think that's good. More than likely we'll accelerate higher. However, again, being that I think this is an inverted cup and handle, going back to when we started that run up in March of 2020, I think there's a chance that we might actually crater, right? I think we're going to actually plow through that 260 level, and if we do, if we can land here, right, around that, again, let's give it a range, anywhere from 310 to 320, right? That's a pullback of, I did not do, hold a second, let me try. Yeah, I had to do like my calculation. So sitting here at 282, a pullback to that area that I'm talking about, like that 315 to 320 area, is about a pullback of around 20%. So if that can happen in the market, I'd feel so much more comfortable deploying, I want to say we're allocating about 80% of my portfolio into the market. So that's what I'm paying attention to. I see an inverted cup and handle emerging. Pay attention to that 360, 370 mark. If that breaks, I think ideally the best setup would be for us to land at that 315 to 320 mark. I think that'll be a good area to go long. What else? Yeah, so the videos are already getting long. I'll try to speed it up here. So we're bouncing around a little bit Bitcoin. For anyone, again, although I'm not so vocal on YouTube, definitely weekly I am still emailing free members to our newsletter. So if you're not signed up, sign up at ShortMeTina.com. Anyone who knows me, even dating back to 2000 and I don't know, whatever, knows that I've been bullish on the crypto markets and have become increasingly bullish, I want to say, within the last 6 or 7 months. So if you say, well, where have I been deploying most of my cash? I would say I've been deploying it mainly in crypto versus the equities market. So anyway, you wonder why Bitcoin had that massive move, right, in December, late last year, heading into this year, about 100% increase. It's because we just sort of broke out of that, in my opinion, this rounding bottom that started in 2017, right, that bear market that started in the crypto markets, right? It took about 3 years for this rounding bottom to complete, from 17 to late 20, about 3 years on the dot, and then we have that breakout here, right above that resistance level of around 20,000. We spiked 100% or a little bit over 100% to around 42K, 40 to 42K, depending on the exchange. And then we had the pullback. So what I'm liking right now, believe it or not, it sounds even bizarre just saying it, right? It's sort of like this basing, right? This sort of like, I love my consolidations. It seems as though Bitcoin is actually consolidating since that breakout and pullback. The bottom end of that consolidation area is here, right? We can say that comes in at around anywhere from 28,000 to 30,000, somewhere around there. Let's look at that. Better picture when you look at the close, right? Around that 28 to 30,000 area. Top of that range is obviously 42. I'm gonna actually, let me delete that. I'm going to show you the channel now. So if Bitcoin for any period of time can remain within this channel, I think the next leg up will be massive, right? Massive. I'm talking that 80 to 100,000 mark that everyone's been talking about. I actually see it now myself. So the longer Bitcoin can actually consolidate in here, once it breaks out of that 40,000 range, overshooting to 100,000 to me is almost in the card. So I actually like Bitcoin's price action here, believe it or not. What else? All right, again, speeding it up. Another crypto that I've actually got into, I don't know why I deployed money in this particular currency, Chainlink. I don't think it had anything to do with the fundamentals of what the coin can actually do or the token can actually do. Maybe I just, not ashamed to say that I randomly probably picked it many years ago, like 2016, 2017. And so I got in around $1. So I got in at a really sweet spot. And, if you know anything about me, I'm kind of, I guess I am a swing trader, but, if whether it's a stock or whether it be a crypto, if it's doing what it needs to do, I'm going to hold on for dear life. And I have held. So definitely an unlikely massive winner for me. You can see here also rounding bottom, we just broke out, sitting here at 23. If you're looking to get in, or where I'm possibly going to add, if I add, I don't know, I feel like I haven't as much as I kind of want. My objective or point is to hold, but if I was to deploy more monies, I think I would wait for it to pull back to that $17, $19 mark. I can see this propelling to around $50. So like Chainlink, unlikely winner for me, but hey, I'll take it. What else? All right, I have a few more to go. Let's see, I'll do Snap, Amazon. I think I may or may not touch AMZN. I'm doing 3, Tilray. Yeah, I have about like maybe 5 more to go. So Snap, definitely another huge winner. And again, if you've been following me, you can just go back to ShortMeTina.com, or you can go on my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, ensure that you're subscribed, so when I do upload these videos, you'll get a notification. But I've been bullish on Snap for a very long time. I want to say maybe even 4 years. And so I've actually been in Snapchat since the stock was trading in like the single digits, right? Around that $9 to $10 mark. Even when it crashed, I've been just very, very bullish. I would say, look, it may pull back, but I am holding for dear life because I have a teenage daughter, and at that time she can never get off of Snap. She's still on Snap, and honestly, I want to say this may have been, was it her idea? Was it mine? I'm not even sure, but we own it, and you can see here, round and bottom, right? From when the stock IPO'd, right, back in 2000. No, there's no way Snap IPO'd in 2017. Crazy, right? Back to when the stock IPO'd back in 2017, it peaked, I think, on that IPO date, right? It peaked at around $28 or $29, and since then it's been nothing but a decline. I think I definitely didn't get in March of 20. Although that was another opportunity for you to get in because it went as low, it went all the way back to the nines. Anyway, rounding bottom here, it's about 3 or 4 years. Finally broke out late last year. And right now we find ourselves at 58.47. I'm actually liking the price action here. Let me delete this. Once again, after the breakout, in my opinion, it is consolidating. You know I love my consolidations, right? So we're consolidating around here. So as long as it can stay above, in my opinion, as long as it can stay above like that 48 mark, I can see Snap getting to around $70. So still upside for Snapchat in my opinion. Been holding since the single digits, and I'll probably hold. If this really is a continuation of the bull market, I can see Snap at 100, and I'll probably hold on till then. What else? All right, Amazon as well. I think they report earnings today. And bear in mind, I'm doing this video prior to market close, right? So it's around 4:27 Eastern time. So when I finally kind of do edits and upload this video today, the prices that you're seeing might be different, right? So bear that in mind. Right now, Snap is trading at a little Snap. we passed that already. We're on Amazon, right? So Amazon is a little bit below $3,400. I don't know why I'm not in this. I am not in this. And so I actually like the pattern here as well heading into earnings, even if it sells off. I mean, I still think even if it sells off, there's still an opportunity to go long. Amazon, again, daily chart, a little under 3,400, consolidating. So the bottom end of that range. And I love consolidations, like I said, after a breakout, right? So 2018 to 20, you had the breakout in April of 2020 when the stock kind of got above that 2,000 mark. It ran all the way up to around 3,500, and now it's pulling back. Very, very stable, healthy, bullish behaviors in my opinion. So we've been consolidating between that 3,000, right? Is that 3,000? Now let's say 2,800 to 3,000 range to around 3,500. I think this is very healthy. So even if the stock sells off later today or tomorrow, if you can get it below 3,000, 2,800 to 3,000, I would definitely be a buyer there, with the hopes that it can get back to 3,500 and possibly beyond based on the chart. So right now, for me, Amazon bullish setup heading into earnings. What else? All right, AMC off about north of 40% on the day, a little shy of $8. So this goes back to 2013, and for me, just based on this very bearish chart, right? A very bearish chart. So I'm not quite sure I would have went long, or maybe I would have went long at that support level. But you can see here, right? Trading within a range, trading within a range. We broke that range to the downside in July of 2017. Not a good sign, right? It range bound again, range bound, and then it broke in 2019. So it took about 2 years to break that consolidation area. Outside of that, like again, any chart can be played, and I'm not going to get into it too much because then I'll be talking forever. Any chart can be played on both sides, right? You can see something bearish, you can see something bullish. Even Amazon, for example, you can play that on a bear side. So it depends on where your bias is and where you feel the most comfortable. But I think any chart can be played any which way. But there is a dominant side that I think can be capitalized more, if that makes more sense. Anyway, so how you would play this both ways is you would be, buy at support, sell at resistance, buy at support, sell at resistance. Had you tried to buy at support here, it would not have worked because it crashed. But also too, if you're looking at the pattern within a pattern, you can see that it's an I was about to say an inverse, but it's not an inverse. It's a rounding top, which is very bearish chart pattern. Anyway, you broke here, consolidated. How would you play this on the long side? You know, you would buy support, sell resistance, buy support, sell resistance. Then we broke again here again in 2019, all the way down. And so from here, right here with this break here, that tells me that this was falling into the abyss, which it did. And then you can see here that it's kind of consolidating once again, right? So had you have wanted to play this on the long side, you can see it here. The ideal place would be here. I'm zooming in from March of 20 till now. You can see it bounced off of support multiple times, that $2 area, right? So we bounced here, bounced here, bounced here, bounced here. And most recently around here, this area here, whoever got in, perfect timing in my opinion. Had I have seen this chart here, I would have taken a chance buying at support, because you got the bounce in March of 20, you got the bounce in April, you got the bounce once again in April. Fast forward, you got the bounce in October, so I would have bet that you would have gotten the bounce here in January of 2021, which it did. So now the stock is actually selling off again north of 40%. It's above 8 right now. Some long legs here, so that's that's not bad. But for me, buying here wouldn't make any sense. I would wait for it to once again get back to that $2 level, which is a huge crash. For me, that would be the safest place to enter, because history would have been on my side, or would be on your side for those who decide to buy at this area. Sitting right here, I wouldn't touch it. What else? All right, not in Tilray, but for those who have been following me for a while, you know that we were in Tilray. I think we made something like 200-300% in the stock. Has since abandoned it, but it looks like it's actually setting up for a power move. And like I said, while I kind of like, I don't know, how does the expression go? Like, beat my own drum, march to my own drum, whatever. I was actually reminded about this stock, and there's so many stocks to keep track of. I was actually reminded of this stock just sort of being on social media today. I'm on Twitter, so ensure that you follow me, Market Declassed. It's gonna pop up. How you spell that handle will come up after I edit the video. Anyway, so you can see like a pattern is emerging once again. Rounding bottom, in my opinion, very bullish, sitting here 23.08. If you can stay above this resistance line here of around $20, you know, Tilray is a fast mover, so I can see it hitting $30 or even $40, which is about 100% return. It seems like that's the name of the game in the markets today. So bullish setup on Tilray. I do not have a position. What else? All right, and so we're gonna wrap up now. So if you're looking for shorts, I've been talking about long setups mainly, although like I said, you can play a ticker so many different ways. If you're looking for a really bearish, in my opinion, a really bearish chart pattern, look no further than IBM. Stock has been in a decline. I've been really trying to get this short for a long time, believe it or not. It's been on my radar to short it, waiting for that sweet spot. Been in a decline since 2013, about eight years, right? Is my math correct? Sounds about right. 8 years since the stock has been doing nothing but declining. We're sitting here right now at 119.69. Bear in mind, this is a weekly chart. And it's breaking down on so many levels. So for me, I'm paying attention to that 120, 130 area. I would say that's probably a good area to enter a short, with a target price for me of around $65 to $70. So very bearish on IBM. I mean, just look at the chart. And someone else pointed this out to my attention. When I actually plug the ticker into this charting software, which I love, by the way, TradingView, anyway, that's another story. So clearly I've been monitoring the stock as well. Bearish, right? I'm kind of fumbling for words right now, but very bearish on multiple levels, right? If you go back to 93, right, we're in 2021. What is that, like 20 years if my math is correct? If we're going, oh no, it's more than 20 years. It's like about, what, 30 years, right? 1993, that near 30-year uptrend was broken back in 2019. So for me, that is sort of like the kiss of death right here. This is the kiss of death. So I'm not surprised to see it sitting here at $45. I wouldn't short here. I think it's going to get that pop. But in my opinion, what you're looking at is probably a dying company, XOM. So if you're looking for a short, pay attention to XOM. And just, if you didn't read the disclaimer at the beginning, I'm not a financial advisor. I've just been doing this for about 20 years. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I get it wrong. I've managed to make some money in the market. I've managed to figure out, I sort of sift through like all the chaos, and I've managed to find a way to achieve profitability without losing my sleep, my time, and my mind. So if you want to listen, fair enough. If you don't, I am equally cool with that. So I think I covered a lot. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 trade ideas. So I'm going to wrap it here. Thanks for listening. Do me a solid thumbs up, comment in the comment section. I'll try my best to get on here as much as possible. A lot has happened. I went from being full-time to part-time. I'm actually doing the 9-to-5 thing because I got so bored the last 4 or 5 years just sitting behind a computer screen. For those who've been following me, you know that I have 2 degrees, a master's and a bachelor's in psychology, and so I kind of didn't want that to go to waste. I kind of dusted that off, and I'm back in the field doing some pretty awesome things. So I've been really busy trying to juggle that. I actually moved as well. So trying to settle myself into my new home, and run a business and, still be a parent to my teenage daughter. So it's been a little tough, and maybe that's why I haven't been on as much as possible. But that love for the markets will never disappear. I'm still here always. So if you want to hear from me regularly, just make sure that you're signed up at ShortMeTina.com. Anyway, again, thumbs up, comment in the comment section. Thank you. I know I had a spiel at the end of every video. I forgot what it was, but let's see. Can't remember. Just thanks for listening. 2, we still have that free trading course up at ShortMeTina.com. So if you're relatively new to the markets and you're kind of looking for some clarity in this pretty chaotic place, definitely sign up for our free trading course. It's 100% free. All that we ask is that you give us an email address so we can know where to send it to. And that's about it. Again, I'll try to do this a lot more regularly. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, and talk to you later. Bye.